Welcome to Har-Go Farms. I am John Gould. Together with my wife Sue, son Stephen, and daughter-in-law Jill, we operate this 250-cow organic dairy. And with the help of some very good employees, we keep it running every day. I currently am chairman of the board of Upstate Niagara Cooperative in Lancaster, New York. I would like to thank the Senator and the Senate Majority Leader.
That's me.
Schumer, for joining us today. Senator Schumer has been a long-time advocate for New York State dairy farmers in the industry. He's keenly aware of the importance of the New York State dairy industry, the economy of our communities, but more importantly, to the quality of the nutrition we provide for the region and the nation and the world. Perfect example is Oaxaca milk products in Batavia, New York, that processes retorted canned evaporated milk that's shipped well beyond the borders of this country. Senator Schumer is here today to talk about the importance of passing a new on-time farm bill that maintains the critically important dairy margin coverage program. According to our National Milk Producers Federation and Government Relations Liaison, in 2018 during the Farm Bill debate, without Senator Schumer and his staff, there would be no DMC program. Critical. To give you an idea of the impact, so far this year, DMC has paid out $38.8 million to the New York State dairy farmers in support of their dairy farm businesses. There's a lot involved in writing a farm bill. And I assure you, we'll be working with the Senator and his staff to advocate for dairy nutrition, establishing a permanent disaster relief program for milk, in support of ag labor reform legislation.
Yes.
It stabilizes our workforce on our farms. These are the safety nets we need to keep dairy farmers farming. So it's my pleasure to welcome from the great state of New York, the Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Senator Chuck Schumer.
Thank you, Mr. Gould. Genesee County is one of our 5 biggest dairy counties in the state, and the dairy industry is still essential to Genesee County. And I always fight for dairy. I was the author originally of the milk program. You know, years ago the row crops got help from Washington, but fruits and vegetables and milk didn't. And I worked hard as a senator, this was before I was legislator, to get them included. One of my proudest days, I was entitled the Brooklyn Farmer by the New York Farm Bureau. I was Person of the Year, and they gave me a picture of a statue, actually, of a Holstein cow standing on the map of Brooklyn, where we don't have any dairy farms, but I care a lot about them. So it's great to be here at Har-Go. This is right in the heart of New York's upstate industry. As I said, we're the 5th, Genesee County is the 5th milk producing county in all of New York State. There are close to 1,000 dairy farms across the Finger Lakes, and milk is the lifeblood of the GLOW region. For those of you from Buffalo or Rochester, GLOW stands for Genesee, Livingston, Orleans, and Wyoming County. And they're among our biggest dairy producers in the state. And we all know that milk from happy, healthy, upstate New York cows tastes better than the milk anywhere else in the nation. The Gould family owns Har-Go. It's one of the 340 farms that make up the Upstate Niagara Co-op, which supplies Oaxaca milk down the road in Batavia, supporting nearly 400 employees, and together with employers like Hood, Dairy Farmers of America, and Yancey's Fancy Cheese, more than 1,000 jobs here in Genesee County are dairy. I helped save Oaxaca when Canada was really screwing around with a co-op like Oaxaca. We went after the Canadians and they had to back off. I spoke to Donald Trump about it. He was in Wisconsin and he agreed to help, so this was a good bipartisan thing when he was president. Not that I always agreed with him. We're here to discuss an important issue that could seriously impact dairy farmers in the Finger Lakes, and that is what we call the dairy cliff. For those who don't know, The dairy cliff refers to the expiration of this essential program called DMC, Dairy Margin Coverage, which gives monthly payments to our dairy farmers to make up for the differences in the price of milk and feed. The program's a lifeline to our farmers. If Congress doesn't pass the Farm Bill this year, it could expire. We would have no safety net. And that was why we call it going over the dairy cliff. You say, well, the Farm Bill always passes, but this year, with all the problems, as you see in Washington, it's much more difficult. I helped enact the DMC in the Farm Bill in 2018, as Mr. Gould mentioned, but expires in September, and so now I am announcing here in Genesee County, one of the centers of the dairy industry in New York and the country, that I'm launching a new push to protect this program as we work towards the Farm Bill. There are people who want to cut stuff in the Farm Bill. You can't cut the DMC. It's too essential to our farmers. If we go over the cliff, the law would be forced to revert back to 1940s agriculture policy, and that would be a very bad thing for our farmers. It's bad for three reasons. It would end the monthly support program to our hardworking dairy farmers. It would cause huge supply chain disruption and market panic, which means less available milk. The price of milk would go way up. So even if you don't even have a farmer in your family, even if you don't even know a single farmer, you'll be hurt if this program goes out, because the price of milk will go up, and all the other things that milk is used in would go up as well. The cost of milk could potentially double. And last, we would see billions of dollars in avoidable federal government spending, because then the feds would be forced back to the antiquated policy of buying milk off the market. So we can't afford to go over the dairy cliff. And our farmers in upstate New York know that best. Genesee is a huge contributor to the dairy industry. It's the 67th biggest county of milk in the country, let alone the 5th in New York. So it's a national issue. Genesee County sells $114 million worth of cow's milk. That's 48% of all the profits of anything agriculture sold in the county. So we can't afford to put the dairy industry and the Finger Lakes out to passage. Bad for our local farmer. Horrible for dairy farms. This Gould family's a multi-generational farm. We've had families that have been here 5-6 generations now, dairy farming. That would end if this happened. And third, price of milk would go up. So I want to assure our farmers, I'm going to use my clout as majority leader to make sure that this doesn't happen, that we keep the DMC program. And by the way, the news about the broadband is new. The President's announcing it at 11:30. But I got the New York State numbers earlier, and so just so your press people know, you could get the beat on the announcement. If it doesn't rain, Mr. McKinley, he's looking at the sky. It won't rain. Okay, we have just one speaker, and that is our county legislative chair, Shelley Stein, who's not only chair of the legislature, but owner of Stein Farms Dairy. Shelley.
Thank you very much. It is really a pleasure to have you, absolutely, right? But it's a pleasure to have you here today with us in Genesee County. We know of your passion and your interest, not only for our dairy farmers, but for our county and its robust economy. And we can't thank you enough for that. This dairy margin coverage program that farmers take advantage of, it's a voluntary program. It is risk management driven, but it means a lot, because at times when our feed cost is over the cost of our production, it means that we are losing money with every 100 pounds of milk that we ship out to be processed for the American public. That hurts our generational farms, and that investment continues to be eroded. The dairy margin coverage is one of those safety nets that farmers can opt into voluntarily, and it's important for us. So thank you so much for doing that. Our farm, Stein Farms, also a dairy farmer, Dairy Farmers of America, proud cooperative member. We use this program as well, and it's meaningful. The benefit of this program is it doesn't matter what size your farm is. So today you're here at a farm that milks 200 cows, yeah? 250, sorry, got that wrong. But it also benefits those farms that have, those family farms that have 1,000 cows or 200,000 cows. This is a program that works for every single farm size, and that's important because it supports the northeast hub of dairy processing right here in Genesee County. And that not only supports our farms, our generational investment, our local, safe, high-quality food that we produce here on our farms, but it saves our rural resources. So these fields that make the feed for the cows, which use water, which then goes into our processing plants that support so many careers here in Genesee County. That, Rob, I'm going to use your words, that ladder rung every time a farm produces. We support several other economies. So the farm families win with this. The land resources win with this. Our generational investments from our farms and our families win with the support of for the dairy margin coverage. Thank you so much, Senator.
And Shelley's a Republican, I'm a Democrat. You hear about a lot of the partisan stuff in Washington, but this is a metaphor. We're not going to let partisanship get in the way of supporting our farmers.
You're right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, Brian, go ahead. Yes. Okay, this is Brian Lord. He's head of the Genesee County Farm Bureau.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Brian.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Lord. I'm the president of the Genesee County Farm Bureau. Thank you very much, Senator Schumer, for coming to Har-Go Dairy today and highlighting the importance of dairy farming to New York's agricultural and economic viability. Dairy farmers continue to experience price fluctuation and business challenges, and the 2023 Farm Bill is an opportunity to support dairy farmers across the state. As I said, my name is Brian Lord, and I proudly serve as the president of the Genesee County Farm Bureau. I have a crop farm here in Genesee County, of which I sell crops directly to dairy farms. My other full-time job is a loan officer at Farm Credit East, where I help support the dairy industry. Farm Bureau represents farmers all across different commodities. It is truly the most diverse agricultural organization in the state. New York is unique due to the nature of agricultural products that are grown and produced, including livestock, dairy, fruit and vegetables, row crops, maple, aquaculture, and much more. The Farm Bill provides critical safety net for all farmers who choose to utilize these programs, especially when times are tough because of extreme weather events or low commodity prices. It also provides critical resources to ensure the longevity of agriculture, including much needed research and support for conservation programs. As Congress drafts the 2023 Farm Bill, there are several dairy priorities that I wish to highlight for inclusion in the legislation. Dairy. As New York's #1 agricultural industry, Title I dairy programs provide important risk management protections to ensure that there is support program for when milk prices do fall. The Dairy Margin Coverage Program, or DMC as we've heard it called, has been a very successful program thus far and is important over previous Farm Bill programs. In 2021, there were 1,728 dairy farms enrolled in DMC. That represents about half of New York State's dairy farms.
And we worked with the Farm Bureau to craft this so it would work.
Based on dairy farmer feedback, DMC has provided the support it was intended to. But there are minor changes to improve the program. These include incorporating and supplementing DMC changes and feed costs that USDA made in 2021 to the 2023 Farm Bill. We would also like to increase the Tier 1 coverage level from the current 5 million pound limit to 10 million pounds. We support...
You don't have to read the whole thing.
I know. This is also a desire to see Tier 1 margin coverage from 950 to 12. This will help address the current inflationary price issues that we are seeing. Thank you again, Senator Schumer, for taking the time to listen to our dairy farmer needs. I look forward to working with you and my fellow New York Farm Bureau members to secure a 2023 Farm Bill that meets the diverse needs of New York farmers.
Great. And we're working with the New York Farm Bureau to get those changes. They're small but very important changes to get in. We are.
Yeah, thank you.